of a zebra finch egg. I think I have one extra egg. It was all covered in poop, so I didn't put it in there, but look at the size comparison there. Isn't that crazy? You might hold it. Bird nerds, we're gonna bring you a little bit of a different video this time. We've got a special box opening. We've got a company that reached out and wanted me to try one of their brand new products for them, and hopefully, if it works great, be able to promote it here for all the bird nerds or others that are interested in it. We'll definitely post some links down below of where to find this. It is sold in the United States, and it really is a brand new product. I don't think there's hardly any, if any, reviews out there on it. So what we'll be doing is incubating some eggs. So I know there's a lot of incubators out on the market right now, anywhere from $30 incubators that can hatch anywhere from 4 to 12 eggs, all the way up to hundreds of dollars. Manufactured incubators that are for industrial use, right? And then we've got a good amount kind of in that mid-level, between the $100 to $300 range, depending on the incubator. And they can incubate, anywhere from 20 to 100 eggs, depending on the size. Most of them are automatic turners. Most of them have like little lights on top that you can candle your eggs with. So my last incubator that was sent to me, we used that last year and hatched out quite a few button quail eggs. So we're gonna try that again this year. And I actually was able to grab quite a few button quail eggs. These are actually for my brother. And then tomorrow I will go out into my aviary and collect my other button quail eggs as well. So we're actually going to run both incubators, so the incubator that I have currently and this brand new one side by side. We're going to see how it hatches out, how the hatch rates and everything like that. Some of these eggs that I got from my brother's aviary, they're older, so I'm expecting like a 50% hatch rate. Whereas my eggs out in my aviary, so I did clean them out I gathered them about a week ago, and I've probably got another, 15 eggs or so from about a week's long. They are viable up to a couple weeks after being laid. So I purposely left them out in the aviary so the birds, they naturally turn them themselves and keep the eggs fresh, which is great, and they can stay viable at room temperature. So I will go and collect those tomorrow. We're gonna get this incubator set up tonight, and we're actually gonna put my eggs that should be a little bit more fresh into this new one to see how the hatch rates are. I should have good fertility. I've got 4 sets of trios out in my aviary with 1 male and 3 females. And typically in the past, my fertility rates have been pretty good with that setup with my trios. So we should get quite a big range of colors too. Actually really excited about it. So we're gonna unbox this, pull out the incubator, look at it, get it set up, and then tomorrow we'll kind of continue this video, collect the eggs, make sure that we're at temperature with the incubator, and kind of go from there. So let's get this puppy going. And I did previously open up the box just to make sure everything came good, but it's a decent sized incubator. Okay, so the company that makes or manufactured this incubator is called Chick Cozy. There we go. Chick Cozy Egg Incubator. Can incubate up to 25 chicken eggs, and looks like it's got little rails in here that you can set your eggs on. I did ask if they can incubate button quail eggs. Button quail eggs are this big, where chicken eggs are this big. And they said it does. It can adjust and hatch the smaller eggs. So we will try and test it and kind of give a review out for this incubator and kind of see how it goes. I think down the road too, since I am starting to collect incubators, I think we're going to give away, you know, if we have good success with this incubator, I think I'm going to give my previous one away to Lucky Bird Nerd. So if you guys are interested in the incubator, let me know down in the comments. And if everything goes well with this, we'll ship an incubator out your way. So I know the one that I have, you know, it's I think it was like $70 is the other incubator, and it does okay. I felt like I had, you know, probably 70 to 80% hatch out for the most part. You know, the eggs that didn't hatch out either weren't fertilized or, you know, stopped developing, you know, halfway through. So there were a few things, but for the price, I felt like it was a great incubator, and we'll kind of see where we're at with this one. I think this one looks like a little bit more of a step up from the one that I have. It's got several more functions in there where it shows the temperatures, the humidity, the days that it's been incubating. That's really nice. Sometimes you forget what days you started to incubate your eggs, and you got to go back and calculate and try and plan when they're going to hatch, right? So it also has a flashlight on. Get a little bit closer there. Has a little flashlight. You can set the eggs on top and candle your eggs. Again, button quail eggs, because they're so dark, they're really hard to candle and check for fertility. But your other eggs, your chicken eggs, your other quail eggs that are lighter in color or white, this is a great feature to have. And then you can check halfway through which eggs are developing, which eggs are fertile, which ones are not, and give you kind of a good estimate of how many chicks to be expecting for a hatch out. So, okay, I think we'll jump right into it. For future notice, future reference here, if you guys want one of these, go on to www.chickcozy.com. They do have an Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter account. So if you guys are interested in this incubator, after we trial and run it, you can go on there, and I'll drop some links down below for you guys to be able to access these. Like I said, they are sold currently here in the US, and I received literally one of the first boxes that they've shipped out in the US. So this is a brand new product. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's see what we've got. Let's see. Looks like we've got an instruction manual. Comes with, those are very handy and helpful so that you can set your incubator up appropriately. Typically, these newer incubators, they're fairly easy to set up, which is great, and very low maintenance once you get them set up and going. Has instructions there where it shows your temperatures. It has it both in Fahrenheit and in Celsius. It's got your humidities, temperature ranges that you can do, days left, like I had mentioned before. So pretty cool there. Looks nice. This is kind of cool. I haven't seen this before in the incubators. So it's kind of a incubation progress candling of pictures. That's actually really cool. So then, you know, if you're incubating eggs for the very first time and you're not sure if the egg's fertile or not, or what's good, what's not, what does it mean if you see stuff in the egg, kind of gives you a day-by-day breakdown until hatch of a baby chicken. So I thought that was actually really cool. Okay, let's take this puppy out and see what we've got. Usually my kids would be probably doing that with these, but they're all asleep, so we'll save it for tomorrow. All right. Let's put that over there with the eggs. Pretty solid little incubator. I like it. Okay. There's your final product. You know, it's probably big. You know, this is the size of my hand, so probably 2 hand widths all the way around, and then probably about 1.5 hands tall and 2 hands wide. So very, very nice. Looks like the light piece is a little shaky. I don't know. Maybe it needs to be screwed in or something, not sure. It's got a little handle here, pop up, And then that should make it, oh, it's taped on, but this will help you lift up to the top, which is really nice. My old incubator didn't have that, so you really had to like maneuver the edges just right. And there were a couple times I actually dropped the top onto the eggs and some of them broke. So the handle is nice, kind of give you a secure opening there. Let's go ahead and open this puppy up. Looks like it's got like a vent where you can control your humidity and the air that goes in there. That's really nice. Okay, let's open this up. And I'm not sure, there's like this little handle here. I don't know, maybe that's where you like put the water in, maybe? I'll have to read the instructions. You guys are literally seeing the first of this just as I am, so I'm assuming that's where you put the water in. Okay, let's lift her up. Ta-da! Very nice. So it does look like the cord is attached to the back. I don't know if I love that, because then it makes it a little bit harder. You can disconnect it right there. But while you're incubating, it might make it a little bit difficult to like take the lid off and place it somewhere because there's a short cord attached to it. You don't want to shut it off every time. So that might be interesting to take note of or watch as we go through this process. Okay. So I wonder if we look at it, so it just has these rails. Looks like you can just pull it out. Obviously, those are a size that would fit chicken eggs, pheasant eggs. My quail eggs will be really small compared to that. So I think what I'm gonna try and do, I could probably fit 2 eggs per cup there, which would give them enough room to incubate properly, but then hopefully will allow them enough space to roll a little bit as the incubator turns. So it's probably what we're gonna try. Maybe I'll do 2 rails of 2 eggs per bowl, and then maybe a couple rails of just 1 egg per bowl, but that might be too big of a space. It will allow the egg to roll around too much. I don't know, be interesting to see on that and how that's gonna impact the incubation of these eggs, but pretty cool. Nice little setup there. And then looks like we need to take all of these out so that I can pull out this bottom little mat. So one thing that I do like so far with this is in my last incubator, so it had a little base tray like this. I'm gonna pull these rails out so you can see better. So my other incubator, right here on the side and right here, there was this little hole, small enough that 90% of your chicks that hatch out can't fit down there. But button quail are small enough. And I had last year when I hatched out a couple batches, I had a few chicks that fit down underneath that and drowned in the water reservoir. So take note of that. If you're hatching smaller eggs like the button quail, and there's really not any other quail smaller than your button quail or your Chinese painted quails, who I'm talking about, your king quail. Take note of that. If you see any gaps or holes, find something, a piece of plastic to cover it up. Don't get paper or things like that, because it'll get moldy throughout the incubation process because there's a lot of humidity in here. Find some plastic, something like that, to cover up that little hole and gap so that your chicks are safe and don't fall down in there. So I'm assuming this is the water reservoir because it looks like it opens up into that. See that? So then you just dump your water into here, and looks like you have three separate reservoirs that you can fill up to help you control that humidity. And it's important to make sure you have a good humidity source in there, especially the days leading up to hatch, so that you got a nice wet environment so the chicks can hatch out of their eggs appropriately. Here in Utah, we have a very dry environment, so it's really hard to get the humidity up and consistent. And I found that when my chicks hatched and I opened up the lid to pull out the chicks and there were still a few eggs remaining to hatch out, it was harder for those chicks to hatch out, and a lot of them died in the shell because my humidity wasn't high enough and they couldn't break out from that membrane and it got too tough around them. So something to take note of as well. I'm not sure this was in there. Not sure. It looked like on the picture somehow. On the picture somehow it was like lodged between here and the egg, so I don't know. Not quite sure what to do with that. I'll have to read the instructions there for it, but all right, let's read the instructions and see if we can get this sucker turned on and rolling for us. And then it walks you through the top settings. So really four steps in getting this ready, which is nice. Seems really simple. Shows you how to put the eggs in properly. Don't put them upside down. Put them pointy part down, especially with your bigger eggs. That's very important. Well, overall, I like this. Let's get it going. So we'll have 2 incubators running at the same time to kind of compare and contrast. So let's do it. All right, guys, we got it set up. So again, terrible lighting. I'm down in my utility room, which is where we are going to hatch our eggs out, because I have a little bit more space down here. It's a little bit more stable in this room, air-wise. So, but yeah, really excited. So this is my old one. I got that turned on and going earlier today, and then we just got this one. I picked it up and got it going. It's a little hard to see there, but it's got your temperature here, got your humidity there, the days you've got, and then you can adjust your days. You can do a turn test, and we'll show you the turn test. Pretty nifty. I liked that. We've got our light. So we're just gonna turn it on tonight. We're gonna let it get to temperature. In the morning, we'll check it. I have a separate thermometer that I'm gonna put in for both of them, actually, just to make sure temperatures are reading the same. And then if all goes well, tomorrow when I get home from work, we will throw in our button quail eggs. So I've got these button quail eggs that are gonna go into this one, and then I will collect the button quail eggs from my aviary to go in this one. So we'll have 2 different batches of button quail eggs going, and hope that we'll have a successful hatch out and enjoy it, have a lot of fun. So really excited about this, guys. Again, this is the Chick Cozy incubator, and like I said, I'll post links down below if anybody's interested in this. Like I said, it's a brand new product, has no reviews. This is one of the first ones shipped out in the US to me of this incubator, so really excited. And I feel like it's got some pretty good qualities and pretty heavy. Feels a lot more durable than this one, to be honest with you. We'll take the lid off here for you guys to see that one. This one is definitely a little cheaper, higher of quality. It's a few extra settings that I do like. I would imagine you could buy smaller rails for like the quail eggs other than the chicken eggs, but we're gonna try it and see if we can make it work with what we have and go from there, see how it goes. So trial and error. Super excited, guys. All right, guys, so we've got our incubators set up. We've got them all tested. The temperatures are good. This is day 2 of our temperature trials. I had my thermometer, an extra thermometer in there, and it was matching the temperature that was shown here. You see up there, I don't know if you can see that very good. The lighting's pretty bad, 99.3, 45% humidity. I just barely preset it for 16 days. for the button quail, which is about the average. So on day 13 of incubation, this will automatically, the automatic egg turner will stop. And then at that point, once that stops, I will take the egg holders out, and then we'll just lay the eggs onto the bottom. So it's kind of a nice little feature there with the egg turner automatically stopping. I do like that. So if something happens, you forget, and the eggs hatch, this isn't turning on the chicks and trapping them underneath. So I really do enjoy that. That did happen a couple times here where legs got caught underneath the automatic turner. So that's something we'll have to watch out for here. I'm gonna put both sets of eggs in at the same time. So what I do to here, I'm gonna do to here, and we'll see. I've got all my button quail eggs. I've got quite a few. These two are from my aviary. My aviaries, I guess. I've got several trios set up, and then this one is from my brother's aviary, and we're gonna put them all in at the same time, try it out. We'll probably do my eggs into this one. These eggs are a little bit fresher, so we'll fit as many as we can into this one first, and then we'll put the rest into that one. So, okay, we've got our eggs set in here. So because I don't have the smaller rails, they only sent me rails for chicken eggs, I was able to fit 3 button quail per hole, per chicken egg. So they're in there pretty tight. They're not going to go anywhere, but they're there, you know, they're loose enough that once this rotates, it should be able to rotate the eggs well enough. I'll definitely check up on it, you know, after 24 hours, make sure there's no eggs that have rolled out. And, you know, for the most part, these eggs are pretty forgiving. If you look at it in the wild, you know, your eggs that your birds incubate, they're not, the point isn't always perfectly located downwards, right? So they're I'm not too worried about that. And if the eggs roll on their sides for a little bit, I think that's gonna be okay. But we'll check on it, and it just rotates like that. That's the farthest it'll go this way, and then it'll go that same length there on the way back. So hopefully that'll, I guess this is supposed to go like that. There we go. That holds the incubator, or sorry, your thermometer. So we're actually gonna put this one in here so that I can look at it. That one was in here and it looks so good. So anyways, we got it all set up. We're gonna put the lid on, and then over here for these eggs, they don't have a holder like those, so we just lay them in there, and then the little tray will rotate it around every few hours. One thing I do like about this one is when the chicks or the eggs are ready to hatch, I can just lift that whole tray up out in one motion, and then the eggs just stay there on the base. Whereas for this one, I'm gonna have to individually pull each tray out and then set the eggs down on the bottom. So we'll see if that's more of a hassle than not when that time comes. But we've got everything set up. We'll go ahead and close up the incubators and see how it goes. Okay, we've now got the incubators all closed up. Check out this. I have one of my button quail females. She's starting to get old. She laid a button quail egg. It's literally about the size of a zebra finch egg. I think I have one extra egg. It was all covered in poop, so I didn't put it in there, but look at the size comparison there. Isn't that crazy? You might hold on to it for a souvenir. Anyways, so I'll show you on the rotating of the eggs, just to show you that they should be okay when it rotates. See how it rotates? All the eggs stay into place. It doesn't rotate enough for those eggs to roll out of place, right? So I think we'll be just fine. I'll show you one more time just for good measures. Kind of cool, huh? All right, and then this one is all set up and in place. And We are set to 16 days for hatch out. Let the timer begin.